France were already dangerous. Sweden knew that before a ball was kicked. But one moment just before halftime did more than change the scoreline. It sparked a live TV debate between two football giants, Thierry Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, over one brutally simple question. Who was really to blame for Kylian Mbappe's goal? Was it Victor Gyokeres, left exposed in a nightmare one-on-one? Or was it Alexander Isak watching the danger unfold when, according to Zlatan, he should have tracked the French superstar? France went on to win 3-0 in East Rutherford, New Jersey, booking their place in the last 1/6 of the World Cup. But after Mbappe's opener, the spotlight shifted from the pitch to the Fox studio, where Henry and Ibrahimovic saw the same goal in two very different ways. And when two elite forwards start arguing about defensive responsibility, every detail matters. The breakthrough came just before halftime. France had been searching for a way through Sweden, and then came the moment they needed. Kylian Mbappe found himself in space, driving into a situation defenders fear more than almost anything else, a direct one-on-one. Victor Gyokeres was the man left trying to stop him. Mbappe moved, Gyokeres ended up on the floor, and the French captain finished the chance to put France ahead. For Sweden, it was a damaging blow at the worst possible time. For France, it was exactly the kind of clinical moment that changes a knockout match. At halftime, Thierry Henry broke it down on Fox. He did not look at the goal as a simple defensive mistake. He saw it as a clever French plan. Henry said what viewers had seen was three intelligent players understanding what is what. In his view, the key was how quickly France moved the ball, and how they forced the wrong Swedish player into the wrong defensive job. Henry explained that once the ball was played short, the player from the front post area was dragged out. And that player, in this case, was Gyokeres. Henry's point was clear. Gyokeres is not a defender. He is a striker. So when he was isolated against Mbappe, France had created the mismatch they wanted. And that is the nightmare. A forward being asked to defend one-on-one against one of the most explosive attackers in world football. Henry said the French players recognized that weakness, exposed it, and punished it. From his perspective, the goal was not just about Mbappe's brilliance. It was about France spotting a structural problem in Sweden's setup and attacking it instantly. But Zlatan Ibrahimovic was not convinced that Gyokeres should carry the blame. The former Sweden striker looked elsewhere. For Zlatan, the focus was on Alexander Isak. He argued that when Mbappe made his movement, Isak should have followed him. Zlatan said, "When he says the movement of Mbappe, look at Isak's movement. He should have followed Mbappe." That was the split. Henry saw Gyokeres being pulled into an impossible defensive duel. Zlatan saw Isak failing to track the run before the danger fully developed. Same goal, same replay, completely different blame. And that is what made the debate so compelling. Because both men were speaking from elite attacking experience. Both know how strikers think. Both know how forwards can exploit defensive confusion. But they disagreed over which Swedish striker had the greater responsibility. Then came Henry's immediate response. When Zlatan pointed to Isak, Henry fired back with a simple question. "And Isak is what?" "He's a striker." "That's what I said." That line summed up Henry's argument. He was not defending every Swedish action. He was saying the deeper issue was the same. Sweden had forwards being forced into defensive roles against France's sharpest weapons. Gyokeres was a striker. Isak was a striker. And France knew it. That is why Henry framed the goal as a moment of intelligence rather than just an individual error. France did not simply wait for a mistake. They created the conditions for one. They moved the ball quickly. They drew out the wrong player. They isolated Mbappe. And once Mbappe had that space, Sweden were in trouble. For Gyokeres, it was a brutal position to be left in. For Isak, Zlatan believed there was still a responsibility to react. For Mbappe, it was the kind of chance elite forwards live for. And for France, it was the moment that cracked the match open. After that, the result became emphatic. France turned their 1-0 halftime lead into a convincing 3-0 victory. Sweden's World Cup run was over. France moved on. But the debate around that first goal continued because it revealed something bigger than one defensive lapse. At this level, tiny details decide matches. Who follows the run? Who leaves the post? Who reacts first? Who spots the mismatch? Against ordinary teams, those moments might pass without punishment. Against France, and especially against Mbappe, they become headlines. That was the warning Sweden learned the hard way. One wrong matchup, one delayed reaction, one superstar in space, and suddenly the game belongs to France. In the end, the argument between Henry and Zlatan did not change the scoreline. France were dominant. Mbappe delivered. Sweden were beaten 3-0. But the halftime exchange gave fans a fascinating look inside how great forwards read the game. Henry saw a clever French trap, isolate a striker against Mbappe and punish the mismatch. Zlatan saw a missed responsibility from Isak, arguing he should have followed Mbappe's movement. Both views came from experience. Both pointed to Sweden's defensive breakdown, and both showed just how ruthless France can be when they sense weakness. Now France march into the last one, 6, where they will face Paraguay on July 4 in Philadelphia. And if their opponents needed a warning, this was it. Give Mbappe even one moment of separation, and France can turn a tactical detail into a knockout blow. For Sweden, the defense rested. For France, the World Cup charge continues.